We often get asked at Van Haven how we come up with some of our concept builds. What we've got behind me and in front of you guys is what's going to be known as the fishing van. So we're going to take a look inside and then I'll talk you through how and what and where we've come up with this really cool idea. So as you can see, it's in a part build. We're working really closely with the customer himself, Rob, who does a lot of professional fishing, and then some other fishermen, so that we can make sure that we enable this van to be used for all aspects of fishing. When it comes to storage, just chilling out in the back and fishing, or being able to sleep in it. So there's a lot we've had to take on board. And I'll show you over some of the drawings we've done on the CAD machine, and then we'll take a closer look at some of the stuff that's inside. But you can see on the table in front of me now, we've got some of the drawings that we've worked alongside the customer to come up with how and where he'd like things. So as an example, checking out this one, which I've drawn all over as well. So you've got a bait boat in the corner. He wants a couple of drawers. He wants somewhere to be able to store his buckets, but also on this section here where the fridge goes, he wants to be able to transfer his buckets to there to then be able to fill them. The section in the middle is for his trolley. So he's got a remote control trolley, but he also wants that section to be big enough to house his bed, which he's got. So there's a lot of things to think about before you can actually just start building. So on this one, you can see again is a closer look of the driver's side. So I'll spin it around so you guys can see. So his bait boat. So what we've straight away found out that his bait boat was a rather large bait boat. So it wasn't just like a normal little remote control boat. It was actually 310 millimeters deep, so the depth of it, but it was 700 mil high and 630 mil wide. So it wasn't gonna fit in that location because this drawer setup was a 400 mil squared, so it wasn't gonna fit in there. So we've had to already overcome issues straight away. But again, we work through things, we try and come up with a different way to store stuff for people, and then we can get through onto the CAD machine, and then all of this templated work can then be put through the CAD, changed as and where it needs to be changed, and obviously adaptations can be made, and then we can overcome all sorts of issues. Say so you know, Freddy say so you know, Freddy say so you know, you know, 'cause we study all the ancients and we get lifted. So taking the drawings aside and having a little think and a sit down both with Rob and a few fishermen, me and myself, Rob, both decided that starting with the fridge section at the back of the van was probably a good idea as a starting point, and then we can work away from that. This section on the side of the van in the drawings, it's for storage, so we've got a couple of drop-ins. But we now know with the space that the bait boat takes up, that this section's only going to have one drop in. But again, going from a drawing to an actual physical thing can be a little bit different to what perhaps you might set out to achieve and to what you actually finish with. We've gone for 2 shelves. Now in the drawing and the customer's request was 3. But as you can see, if I was to put 3 shelves here, they're going to be very shallow. He wants to be able to fit reels, he wants to be able to fit bait, he wants to be able to fit other fishing items up in here, and it just physically wouldn't work if there was 3 shelves there. And again, this section here, he actually wants to team this up with a seat. So we've got some custom-made cushion tops that are going to sit in the recesses on the top. But he's also got a tube which is going to sit up here, which is for his poles and bits and pieces. So there's a lot to think about in regards to how you just suddenly build something. Me and myself and Rob and Ollie, actually one of the sales guys from upstairs, have been and sat in here to try and feel if it's comfortable enough. Rather than just slapping it together, we've had to really scratch our heads and think, this is a nice height. So this is comfortable for me, my feet are flat on the floor. I know that Rob's similar height to me, so he's going to be comfy in this position. And obviously, you can just sort of pop his feet up, get a beer out of the fridge and chill out. It does take various stages, but obviously you've seen the mountain bike van, which we did for Craig, a really good customer, and you've obviously seen the car wow van, and they are concepts which are now in build. So we can go through to Dan, the noisy man with the trolley. Hi! We can go through to the team in the CAD area, and we can adapt stuff that customers are after and press print. So hopefully this will be another setup which go from concept to reality, well, hopefully very soon. During the concept and I guess almost to the reality stage of this build, we've had to come up with solutions as to where the electrics go, whether they're going to be accessible and, well, basically the ease of access for the customer, Rob. So we've gone, obviously you can see this is a double seat with obviously the single driver's seat. Underneath the driver's seat there's a lithium battery and then the main fuses, and then underneath the double is literally just the C-Tech. Going with the drawing, so this is going to be a cupboard in this section here with a little drop-in storage. The customer can tell you what that's for. But we've put the fuse box so it'll be easy access, and then the inverter. For me, myself, coming from my background and what I did prior to working here, some of these bespoke, big, different builds are what really drives me forward. And then seeing how they can go from your drawings, seeing how they can come into almost, I keep using the phrase, but into reality, to then going over to the CAD machine and then coming into a van, for me it's wicked. It really does help me get up in the mornings. I'm older, I'm one of the older guys here, but for me, the bespoke builds that I get to concentrate on are really my favourite. So yeah, join us hopefully in a video really soon where we'll be out and about, and I might even get my little fishing rod out, and we'll see how this van makes it out in the real world.